you can download my DFD stamps. So these are all just shapes that I've made. I'm going to make a bunch more, and they'll be very helpful in making these monsters. So for this first one, I'm going to use flan. I'm going to use a flan shape, and I have a sort of a pink background. So you can set your background to whatever color you want. I'm going to use this sort of light pink, and I will use this color for the first stamp brush. So I'll make the brush fairly big. That's a good size. Okay, so we have our little flan shape here, flan. And actually, I already made a mistake. I want to definitely put that on a new layer. So I'm gonna just make a layer above, and then I'll just do our stamp again. Let me just center it. I'll make it a little bigger. Okay, so flan shape, and stamped in the middle on its own layer. Alright, so let's figure out what else we want to use for this little monster. So we're going to use, let's use eye shape 3. So we'll use eye shape 3, and the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to color pick the pink. I'm going to make a new layer, take my brush, eye shape 3, put it high up. So now I'll just take this shape, duplicate it, and go to my selection tool up here, flip horizontal, and I'll just drag it over. I think that's pretty good. I think it's fairly even. I'll merge those two shapes, so now we have those two shapes here. And next I'm just going to select, so I tap on the layer, select, then I go down to the flan layer, 3-finger swipe, and cut. So we've just cut this hole out of the blue. And then I'm going to bring the eye layer below that. Go to hue saturation, layer, white. So now we have the white behind this blue. So I'll make a new layer above that, and I'll go back to my stamps, and we'll use Smile 1. And what color do I want? We'll use this sort of, I use this color for the inside of the mouth. So we'll use that kind of reddish mauve color. I don't know what mauve is. I just wanted to use that word. I've never known. It's a beautiful word though. So we'll put this little mouth right there. It's not bad. Let's see what happens if we go a little higher with it. Okay, so he's got his little mouth there. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the eyes with the mouth. So I'm going to select, go to the flan layer, 3-finger swipe, and cut. So now we've cut a hole in the blue, and I'm going to bring his mouth down. I'll bring it below the eyes as well. And now we have the red behind. And I'm going to give him some little teethies. So I'll just go to white, and I'm going to alpha lock this layer. You know, I'll give him a little, let's give him a little tongue. Let's give him a little blue tongue. You know what, I'm just going to give him teethies. I'm getting too, sometimes I get a little too excited, and I just want to do all this extra stuff. So I'm just going to a regular brush now, and I'm alpha locked on this mouth layer, and I'll just give him smooth teethies. There we go. So I just gave him some little teethies. Okay, good so far. So now what we can do is, let's give him some horns maybe. Okay, so we're going to give him some horns. So I'll go back to my brush tool, and there's two kinds of horns. You can use any ones you want. You can use any horns you want. I'm going to take horns 2, and I'm going to put those underneath. I'm going to put those underneath everything, except for the pink, obviously. I'm just going to put it underneath the mouth. So now go to my stamp brush, stamp. Okay, that's looking good. He's got his little curly horn there. And now I'll just duplicate that. Go to my selection tool up here, flip horizontal, and then I'll drag it over. Now, and here's another little tip. If you want to drag it straight across, you can go to snapping. Just hit snapping, hit magnetics and snapping, and then you have some guides that will make it easy for you to just drag across, and it'll be even. It gives you all these fun guides and things like that. Take those off. And now you have your 2 horns. Okay, let's give him some eyes now. Alright, so if you want to give him eyes, you want to make it above this eye layer here. So we're going to make a layer above that and below this. And what color eyes do we want to give our little rascal here? Maybe some orange eyes. That might be interesting. We can always change the color later. So I'm going to choose orange. I'm going to go with solid circle. Make it a decent size. That's not bad, actually. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. Let's see how that looks. Let me put one on the other side. So I'll just duplicate it and drag it over. See how that looks. It's not bad. I kind of like it. So I'm going to delete one, and I'm going to duplicate it. So now we have 2. I'm going to make this one darker. I'm going to make it real dark, almost black. That kind of looks nice with the dark eyes as well. So now I am on the circle in front. Use my selection tool. And I'm going to shrink this on uniform so it doesn't get all crazy on me. So I'm going to shrink that, and I'm just going to give him a little pupil. Or iris. No, pupil. Pupil. The whole thing is an iris. Pupil. Okay, so there's one. And we'll do one for now. Okay, so I'm going to alpha lock this orange layer. So this layer is alpha locked. Okay, so now I'm going to group these 2 layers, and I'm going to duplicate them. I'm going to drag them over here. Look how funny he looks. So what I'm going to do is I clearly need to move this pupil over. And I'm just going to adjust this one because this one must be a little bit too far over as well. So I want to make sure they're in the middle. And I'll take this group and move it over. And I'll take this group and move it over. Maybe I'll just do it so the orange is touching in both. Okay, that's good. I'm going to bring his mouth, where should his mouth go? Above. Yeah, I'll bring his mouth above these orange. Okay, that's a little bit better. I think it's cute so far. Okay, so what do we want to do next? let's give him some color. So I'm gonna alpha lock this layer. And then we'll do like maybe just like a sort of lime green, maybe. Let's see, what kind of pattern do we want to give him? Maybe we want to give him like let's use a noise brush. So I'm going to use the noise brush, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to use the noise brush on him. So I make the noise brush fairly big, and I'm just going to just give him some flavor. You know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to go more yellow, and then on the bottom I'm just going to hit him with some yellow. Now you can make up any colors that you want for your little monster. Okay, so he's got some yellow down there. He's got some darker green. And what about on the top if we give him some blue? That might be kind of cool. I'll just do this in like a kind of a... I'll do just a little hint of blue up here. Just to give him a little something, you know? Just a little... Just make it interesting. Okay, so next, I'm going to take this original color. I'm going to make it a little darker. And I'm going to take the same airbrush. And now I'm just going to airbrush all this outer ridge. So I'm just going to airbrush it like this. Not putting too much pressure. Sort of staying inside the eye area because I want the outside of the brush to do the shading. As you can see, I kind of like to go in a circular pattern. So then it just kind of gets that nice depression, like it looks like the eyes are, you know, stuck in his little head. Alright, looks pretty good so far. I'm going to do the same thing with his mouth. I'm going to make the brush a little smaller because his mouth is so small. But I want to definitely get in there and really make sure you can see that little depression in his mouth. Okay, I think that looks great. Okay, so next I'm going to take your black brush and we can use we'll use Sketchmaster. Do we want to use Sketchmaster? You know what? We'll use Paintbrush. Yeah, we'll use Paintbrush is easier because I'm going to show you a fun little trick. So we're going to stay on this layer. And we're going to use the paintbrush, and you want it to be about that thick. Maybe even a little thicker. Oh, come on, undo, undo, undo. There we go. So you want it to be fairly thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start around here. Oops. Wait, why is it coloring underneath? I'm a little confused actually. Anyway. So I'm going to color like this. So in case you couldn't see what I did, what I do is I start, so the brush is like this, But since we're alpha locked, it's only going to color on this blue part. So what I do is I sort of take my brush, curve around, and then hold. And then you have that nice little, and I'll put a little tip on the end, just because I think it's cute. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. Sort of bring the brush around, nice and thick, hold. Make it a little thicker, and that's pretty good. So the only problem is it's a little close there. So, but that's okay. I'll just take it off alpha lock, and then I'll just make his little tip. Okay. There we go. It's looking good so far. So the next thing I want to do is go underneath. So I'm gonna select the eyes. Actually, you don't even need to really select the eyes. You can just go underneath. You want to go underneath this layer. Take black and take graffiti brush or paintbrush or any brush, but you just want it to be 30% opacity and fairly big. So then we're going to do the same thing, similar to what we did with this line, but we're going to do that underneath, like that. There we go. And do the same thing to the other side. Just like that. So that looks like it's the shadow from the eyelash. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. These eyes still need to come in a little bit more, I feel like. No, actually I think they look pretty good. I like them. Okay, so now let's do some shading on the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll flatten these. And then I'm going to take this brown color here. I'm going to stay on graffiti brush, so the same brush, 30%, and make sure both of these are alpha locked. You can actually just merge the two, so make sure they're alpha locked. And then just make a curve. There's actually a few ways to do it. You can make a curve like that. So I like to do that, and then I like to take the soft airbrush, and then also I just like to darken up the whole area on top. So I'll do the same thing with this eye. Good. So now we've darkened it up. His eyes are looking pretty good. And now we'll just add, we're going to go above that shadow layer. I'm going to go white. And then we'll do graffiti brush, same graffiti brush, 30%. And then we'll do our jelly beans. Whoops. Make sure your brush is fairly big for the jelly beans. There we go. There's one. There's two. Okay, so that's good. So maybe we want his eyes to be a different color. Let's see. Let's alpha lock the eyes, like the white parts of the eyes. So let's alpha lock that, and let's see. Maybe we want it to be like what about this lime color? What does that look like? It's kind of interesting. Let's see what other colors. Let's see what hue and saturation gets us. It's kind of interesting. I kind of like the little off-white. I like a gray. Oh yeah, I kind of like a gray. Maybe a little bit of color. I like that. So you can choose any color you want for the eyes. And then go all the way, make a new layer all the way on top. Go pure white, paintbrush, and then we'll just do his little, we'll do the little glare mark for the eyes. Kind of want them to be similar sized. It always takes me forever to get these glare marks right. Okay. Alright, I like that. We'll do another little glare mark over here, just for the heck of it. Alright, now do we want to do anything with his little horns? I think they're looking pretty good. So the only thing we're going to do is we'll make a little shadow. So how about we take like a peach color? We'll use the airbrush. And then we'll go to his horns. Let's merge those two layers because they're okay to be merged together. So we'll merge them, we'll alpha lock them, and then we'll take the soft brush and we'll sort of just give him a soft like. I mean, I don't know why they'd be this color. I don't know why I thought this would make sense, because it really doesn't. But yeah, let me change this. Let's do something more fun. Okay, I think I got it. I think I have an idea. So we're gonna make these beige. Let's make them like a beige color. So I chose the beige. And since this is alpha locked, you can just do fill layer. And then we'll do like a lilac. Or how about we do like the same blue? We'll do the same blue that we used for the top of the head. And let's go with our graffiti brush. We'll bring it to 100. Maybe like striped. Let's see what striped looks like. Oh yeah, well, let's bring it down to 30%. And let's do some stripes across. I kind of like that. So we'll do stripe here, stripe here, stripe here. And when you do these stripes, just sort of follow along the pattern of the horn. I mean, it's a little strange, but I kind of like it. It's a little interesting, but I kind of like it. And let's take our white. We'll go back up to the very top layer, the one we did the little glares with, and we'll take graffiti brush back to 30%. And let's just do this. So let's make a nice little glare on them. And then we'll go up to 100%. And let's just put like, why not? Let's just put like another little glare on them here. We'll do it down here too. Almost like it's like liquid or something. I don't know. It's all just for fun. Why not? I kind of like that. So the last thing I want to do is let's put a little bit of a shadow on from his lip on his little teethies. So which layer we'll do it on? So we'll do it on the same layer that we did this little shadow. So we'll do it on this layer. So we'll stay on that layer. We'll tap the mouth, hit select, go up to that shadow layer, go to black, and then we'll stay on graffiti brush. We'll bring it down to like, let's stay at 30%. It might be too dark, we'll see. Now it's a little dark, so let's go down to 15%. Oh. Let me make this brush a little bigger. And since the teeth aren't separate, we just have to kind of make sure that we don't go into the red part. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy with this guy. Let's give him some, let's go back to white and go all the way on the top layer. And we'll use graffiti brush at 15% still. Let's see what this looks like. If we just give him some, let's make it a little bit, let's go to 25%. And I'm just making some little circle type shapes. You know where his cheeks are. We'll make one here too. I kind of like that. Okay, so let's see, what else will we do here? So let's color pick this pink color. We'll go to our pink layer, we'll make a layer above, and then we'll darken it just a little bit. We'll go to our selection tool, we'll go to rectangle. So let's make a rectangle here, and then we'll drag that color in. And now, so this part is important. So let's take all of our little character. We'll undo so just right swipe on just the elements, not the background bits. So we'll group them, merge down. Oh, I didn't mean to merge down. That was wrong. Flatten, copy, then hit back twice. So now you have your layers. So you can hide the layers, and then you can do the 3-finger swipe down, and you can do paste. So now you have your monster on one layer. Duplicate. And then we're going to go to selection tool. We're going to flip vertical. We're going to drag it down. Drag it down to here. And I'm just going to lower the opacity to about 50%. Then I'm going to take my eraser. I'm going to go to the airbrush. And I'm just going to erase. I'm just going to softly kind of erase a little bit at the bottom. And I'm going to raise that up a little bit because I want them to be, still want them to be seen. And let me see what a Gaussian blur looks like on that layer. Oh, I kind of like the Gaussian blur. That's kind of nice. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I dig that. And let's see, what else can we do here? Let's go to the background layer and let's give them so let's take white. We'll go to our soft brush. We'll make a layer above that just in case we mess up. So I'm using a soft brush. I make it real big. I'll put the opacity down to about 50%. And let's just give them a nice little white sheen behind them. How does that look? Does that look dumb? It looks kind of dumb. Okay, so instead of that, let's take maybe a purple, maybe a darker purple. We'll take a darker purple and let's try giving the edges a once over. That's a little bit better. I don't like the purple either. It looks dumb. I think we'll leave it at that. Otherwise, I'll just keep going on forever. The only other thing that I was going to try, see, that's what happens. The only other thing I was going to try is make like, so we're on this pink layer. I'm going to go to our ribbon tool. I'm going to do rectangle. And then I'm going to do this. And I'm going to drag the shape in there. Oops. Let me make it a layer above. So let me make a new layer. Just undo it and then just make it on a layer above. Yeah. Bring the lower opacity. Bring the opacity down. And I'm just going to duplicate that. Bring it over. Merge those. Duplicate. And bring those over. Just give them like a nice little pattern back there. And if we want, we can duplicate that. We can bring it above. We can bring it down. And we can erase, kind of like we did. We can sort of erase the top. And we'll give it a little Gaussian blur. Just to, you know, keep it honest. Oh, the one thing that we have to do though is get rid of everything above. So we'll just make a rectangle. So right now we're on here. We just have to get rid of this part. So just use the rectangle. And then just make the rectangle like to the floor. And then just cut. Yeah, now we're good. Alright. I'm happy with this little guy. I don't know what we want to name him, but I'm happy with him.